Hello, it is 9 p.m. At this time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines we have the Arab State chairs the Council of Ministers today at the people at the Palace of the Republic. In Lebanon, 12 violations in ceasefires by Israel. Welcome to our newsroom under the chairmanship of the Head of State and Head of Government, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. The Council of Ministers to meet to discuss a number of issues. To find out more, listen to the report by the Djibouti's Head of Diplomacy and Government Spokesman.
Rahim, sous la présidence du chef de l'État, Son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, s'est tenue la première séance du Conseil des ministres en ce mardi 7 janvier 2025.
The first question concerns a draft decree that approved the provisional budget for the year 2025 for the Djiboutian Office for the Development of Geothermal Energy, ODEG. This draft decree seeks to authorize the 2025 budget for ODEG, which has been set at balance of 347,733,000 Djiboutian francs, with both income and expenses estimated at the same amount. A key focus in the budget is the allocation of operational expenses, which are projected at 206 million Djiboutian francs, alongside the investments, which are set at about 141 million Djiboutian francs. This proposed budget for 2025 will support several critical ongoing projects and developments undertaken by ODEG, which continues to push for the exploitation and development of the country's geothermal energy resources. Some of the notable activities carried out by ODEG in the past year include the restructuring of the organization, with the shift from being a public administrative establishment to a public industrial and commercial establishment, aimed at improving its efficiency and accountability. Additionally, ODEG has made considerable progress in acquiring new laboratory equipment, and it successfully completed the Gala drilling program in the previous year. Looking forward, one of the significant steps outlined for 2025 includes the production tests and the commissioning of state-of-the-art laboratories at the Orchard Scientific Research Center, which are equipped with cutting-edge tools for geoscience, geology, geochemistry, geophysics, and data analysis. These labels are crucial for ensuring that Djibouti continues to make advances in understanding and tapping into its geothermal potential, and the budget reflects this commitment to innovation and sustainability in the energy sector. The second question pertains to a draft decree that approves the 2025 provisional budget for the Djibouti Institute of Statistics. Instead, the budget for the Instat in 2025 is balanced, accommodating to 456 million Djiboutian francs. The budget is closely tied to the overarching national strategy for the development of statistics in Djibouti, which aims to modernize and strengthen the country's statistical infrastructure in order to provide reliable, timely, and relevant data. This data is necessary for better decision-making and national planning. One of the key activities being funded through this budget is the continuation of first general census of businesses in Djibouti, which was initiated in 2024. The next phase of this project, which involves enumerating a wide variety of businesses and gathering data on their activities, is slated for completion in 2025. Additionally, the 2025 budget will support the implementation of various statistical tools and methods, especially for economic, environmental, and contractual data, as well as the enhancement of the human resources of the national statistical system. Instat's efforts in these areas will ensure that Djibouti's data and statistical services are increasingly comprehensive and robust, meeting both national and international standards. The third question concerns a draft decree approving and rendering enforceable the 2025 provisional budget for the Djibouti Center for Scientific Research and Studies. The budget for CERD is projected at a balanced total of 1 billion Djiboutian francs. This marks a decrease of about 18.4% compared to the 2024 budget. Within this framework, personnel costs are set to increase by 50 million Djiboutian francs, which is primarily due to the recruitment of additional researchers. 12 new researchers and 1 technician are set to join the team. These new hires will bolster CERD's capacity to conduct and expand scientific research across various fields. CERD has long been an integral part of Djibouti's research landscape, playing a key role in advancing scientific knowledge in the country. The 2025 budget will allow CERD to continue its virtual work in supporting national scientific projects and promoting innovation in the research community. The fourth question deals with a draft decree that approves the 2025 provisional budget for the Institute of Health Science. The 2025 budget for ISSS is balanced at 364 million Djiboutian francs, reflecting a reduction of 36 million Djiboutian francs compared to the previous year. This reduction, however, does not impact the ongoing development plans of the institute, as the investment budget for 2025 is set at 48.3 million Djiboutian francs. These funds will be allocated to several key projects, including the rehabilitation and modernization of the Institute Library, the improvement of laboratory facilities, and the construction of a new sump system. Additionally, investments are planned to acquire new interactive teaching gadgets and to continue the digitization of the Institute's educational curriculum. In terms of education, ISSS experts to train 504 students in 2025 across 17 different health disciplines, preparing them for careers in various areas of health science. Furthermore, ISSS plans to offer a diverse range of continuing education programs such as nursing courses and 3 executive-level master's courses aimed at advancing professional expertise in healthcare. The fifth question pertains to a draft decree approving the 2025 provisional budget for the Djibouti National Water and Sanitation Office. The 2025 budget for ONIAD has been set at 11 billion Djiboutian francs with an estimated profit of 47 million Djiboutian francs, marking an increase in profits by 28.2 million Djiboutian francs compared to 2024. The projected revenues for 2025 are expected to reach 11.7 billion Djiboutian francs, up from 9 billion Djiboutian francs in 2024. ONIAD plans to invest 708 million Djiboutian francs in infrastructure development in 2025. This investment will cover a range of activities, including the purchase of rolling stock, pipes, office furniture, IT equipment, and electrico-mechanical components necessary for improving water and sanitation services in the country. Additionally, this projected drinking water production for 2025 is set at 34.4 million cubic meters, representing a 5% increase from the 2024 forecast, indicating ONIAD's efforts to expand access to clean water for Djiboutians' growing population. The sixth question concerns objectively adopting the 2025 provisional budget of Djibouti International Airport. The airport's budget for 2025 is balanced with projected revenues of 3,374 million Djiboutian francs and expenses of 3,266 million Djiboutian francs. This result is a net profit of 107 million Djiboutian francs, which represents a positive financial outlook for the year. The increase in revenue is attributed to several factors such as the steady decrease in the number of departing passengers and the anticipated arrival of new airlines at the airport. Revenue will primarily come from airfares, commercial income, and various fees, including those related to state charges and access card sales. On the expense side, costs are expected to rise from 2.9 billion Djiboutian francs in 2024 to 3.2 billion in 2025, as the airport continues to expand its services across the nation and improve its infrastructure to accommodate growing passenger trafficking and operational needs. The seventh question addresses a draft decree approving the 2025 provisional budget of the Djibouti National Meteorological Agency. The proposed budget for the Djibouti National Meteorological Agency for 2025 is balanced at 226 million Djiboutian francs, a slight decrease from the 228 million Djiboutian francs allocated in 2024. The projected revenues for the agency will come from airport fees and government subsidies, both of which remain stable. However, the agency's investment budget will amount to 42 million Djiboutian francs, down from 43.5 million in 2024. This funding will be used to acquire 2 automatic marine weather stations, 2 automatic rain gauges, and system for early warning of extreme weather events. The agency will also invest in IT equipment to enhance its forecast capabilities and improve the accuracy of weather reports for the public and various stakeholders. The eighth question pertains to a draft decree adopting the 2025 provisional budget of the National Social Security Fund. The CNSS budget for 2025 is projected to generate revenues of 36,376 million Djiboutian francs, with expenses totaling at 32,566 million Djiboutian francs, resulting in a surplus of 3 billion Djiboutian francs. This marks a slight increase in revenues from the 33.66 billion Djiboutian francs projected in 2024. The budget reflects a 2% increase in social security contributions, which is expected to help sustain the fund's ability to provide support for returners, widows, orphans, and other eligible beneficiaries. Additionally, the capital expenditure budget for 2025 stands at 928.8 million Djiboutian francs, earmarked for upgrading the information system, digitizing services, and equipment emergency services. These investments will help ensure the CNSS can continue to meet its obligations and expand its capacity to serve the national and social protection needs of Djiboutian population. The ninth question concerns a draft decree approving the 2025 provisional budget of the Djiboutian Urban Rehabilitation and Social Housing Agency. The budget for DAGLO is balanced at projected revenues of 303 million Djiboutian francs, with estimated expenses at 3 billion Djiboutian francs, leaving a projected net income of 56 million Djiboutian francs. In terms of activities, the agency plans to complete the construction of 520 social housing units funded by the Saudi Development Fund and other 500 units funded by the People's Republic of China.
The Council of Ministers then examined and approved it. Listen to the report.
Dixième question est relative à un projet d'arrêté portant approbation du budget prévisionnel 2025 de la société immobilière.
The 10th question concerns a draft decree adopting the 2025 provisional budget of a National Printing Press. The National Printing Press budget for 2025 is projected with revenues at 559 million Djiboutian francs and expenses at 547.9 million Djiboutian francs, leaving a profit of 11.8 million Djiboutian francs. This printing service, which holds an exclusive arrangement with the state for the printing and sale of documents to public institutions, continues to maintain a significant role in Djibouti's public sector. The forecasted operating expenses for 2025 are essentially the same as in the previous year, totaling 476.9 million Djiboutian francs. Major expenditures include personnel costs, purchase of materials, and external services necessary for its operation. In terms of investments, the printing press plans to allocate over 71 million Djiboutian francs towards acquiring new computer equipment, upgrading office furniture, purchasing technical machinery, and improving transport equipment infrastructure. This investment aims to modernize operation, increase efficiency, and enhance the quality of printed materials provided to public institutions, ensuring that National Printing Press remains a reliable and capable resource for the government's printing needs. The 11th question concerns a draft decree adopting the 2025 provisional budget of the Post of Djibouti. The Post of Djibouti has presented a balanced budget for 2025 with both income and expenses projected at 685.07 million Djiboutian francs. This marks an increase of 22.3 million Djiboutian francs compared to the previous year. However, the revenue forecast has declined by 238 million Djiboutian francs, reflecting a decrease in anticipated postal services and financial transactions. The 12th question concerns a draft decree adopting the 2025 provisional budget of the National Printing Press of Djibouti. The budget for 2025 for the National Printing Press is presented again with the same figures: 559 million Djiboutian francs in revenues and 547.9 million Djiboutian francs in expenses, yielding a profit of 11.8 million Djiboutian francs. As mentioned earlier, the company is focused on maintaining its exclusivity for printing services for public institutions. The 13th question concerns draft decree adopting the 2025 provisional budget of the Post of Djibouti. For 2025, the Post of Djibouti's budget is again balanced at 685 million Djiboutian francs in both income and expenses. The revenue forecast shows a decrease of 238 million Djiboutian francs compared to 2024, with operating expenses rising from 642 million to 645 million Djiboutian francs. The 14th question concerns a draft order approving the opening balance sheet of the National Tourism Agency. The draft aims to approve the opening balance sheet of the National Tourism Agency effective as of January 1st, 2023. The opening balance sheet values total assets of 335 million Djiboutian francs. This document is essential for formalizing the financial and operational standing of the agency, which was established by law in 2000 but was restructured in 2021 to replace the previous National Tourism Development Agency. The new entity has a public establishment statute with industrial and commercial objectives. The 15th question concerns a draft decree approving and rendering enforceable the provisional budget for 2025 of the National Tourism Agency. The National Tourism Agency has presented a 2025 provisional budget with revenues projected at 416.72 million Djiboutian francs and expenses at 259 million Djiboutian francs, resulting in a profit of 157.66 million Djiboutian francs. This marks a positive outlook for the agency, with revenue forecast showing an increase compared to the previous year. The agency's revenue for 2025 is primarily delivered from its own resources, which include 170 million Djiboutian francs in hotel royalties, 28 million Djiboutian francs from cabin rentals, and a government operating subsidy of 179 million Djiboutian francs. The 16th question concerns a draft decree approving and rendering enforceable the 2025 provisional budget for the National Agency for Investment Promotion. The NPI's 2025 provisional budget is balanced, with income projected at 214.50 million Djiboutian francs and expenses at 207.50 million Djiboutian francs. This budget reflects an increase of more than 8.5 million Djiboutian francs over the previous year, showing positive growth in the agency's operation and service delivery. The 17th question concerns a draft decree establishing a minimum pension for retirers and beneficiaries of the Military Pension Fund. The draft decree aims to establish a minimum pension of 42,000 Djiboutian francs for retirees, beneficiaries of the Military Pension Fund. This measure is designed to address the needs of retired military personnel, widows, orphans, and other dependents of deceased servicemen who have been receiving extremely low pensions in the past, with some families previously receiving only 10,000 Djiboutian francs per quarter. The introduction of this minimum pension is part of a broader effort to provide better social protection for those who have dedicated their lives to serving the country. This increase is a significant step towards ensuring the former military personnel and their families can better cope with the rising cost of living. The goal is to provide a financial safety net for these individuals, reflecting the country's commitment to honoring the sacrifices made by those who served in the armed forces while also contributing to social stability and economic well-being.
The People's Palace hosted a workshop devoted to the presentations of the initial budget law 2025. Listen for more details.
People's Palace hosted a workshop on the presentation of the Initial Finance Law 2025, chaired by the Secretary General of the Budget Ministry. This event brought together representatives from different ministries who came to discover and discuss the major budgetary orientations of the state for the coming year. The presentation, led by experts from the Ministry of the Budget, highlighted the strategic priorities of the Initial Finance Law 2025, including the budgetary envelopes allocated to each sector and the control mechanism. This workshop aimed to provide participants with a clear understanding of the financial objectives and the responsibilities incumbent on each ministry in the implementation of the budget. The Secretary General recalled the importance of inter-institutional collaboration to ensure rigorous and effective management of public funds. He also stressed that this initiative reflects the government's commitment to strengthening transparency and ensuring equitable allocation of resources. This workshop follows the technical meeting organized the day before within the Ministry of the Budget. This meeting made it possible to present the technical aspect of the general revenue and expenditure of the Initial Finance Law 2025 to the internal department of the ministry.
The Secretary General of the Ministry of Budget said that this series of initiatives said the ministry confirms its determination to involve the various stakeholders in a transparent and inclusive management of public finances. The 2025 budget shared in this way marks an important milestone towards optimized and resilient financial governance. As part of the Ministry of Health's mass distribution campaign to combat malaria, long-acting insecticide-impregnated mosquito nets have been deployed. Listen for more details.
Campaign of the Ministry of Health's Malaria Control Program, a long-lasting insecticide-treated mosquito nets were deployed in the Artas and Al Sabih regions. It is with this in mind that the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Mohammed Ali, officially handed over to the Prefect of Arta regions, Hassan Dabli, and to the Deputy Prefect of Al Sabih region, Mrs. Saida Wabri, the quantities of mosquito nets intended for those regions. The ultimate goal of the Health Ministry is to achieve universal coverage of the use of those mosquitoes by providing the population with an effective means of protection against mosquito bites that carry malaria and viral fevers such as chikungunya. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Health stated that the use of those mosquitoes is one of the most effective means of vector control recommended by the Ministry of Health as part of the multi-sectoral responses to malaria and fever of viral origin. The government, through the Ministry of Health, will conduct a vast campaign for the mass distribution of long-lasting insecticide-treated mosquito nets throughout the national territory. The 500,000 insecticide-treated mosquito nets intended for the Djiboutian population have been in transport and pre-positioned for several days in the country's various health facilities.
Ambassador of Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Djibouti to Saudi Arabia and non-resident to the Sultanate of Oman, Diaydin Said Bamakrama, signed today in Muscat with his engineer Naif bin Ali Al-Hamad Al-Abri, chairman of Omani Civil Aviation Authorities, an air transport agreement between the Republic of Djibouti and the Sultanate of Oman to strengthen bilateral cooperation in the field of air transport and facilitate the movement of passengers and goods between the two brotherly countries. 25th anniversary of the reconstruction of the Somali state in Djibouti. Listen to the report.
Year 2025 marks the 25th anniversary of the Somali Reconciliation Conference held in Arta, which laid the foundation for rebuilding the Somali state after years of civil war and institutional collapse. The historic event, orchestrated under the leadership of President Ismail Omar Guelleh, was instrumental in bringing together the warring Somali factions, leading to the formation of a national government in 2000 and restoring hope to the Somali people. A quarter of a century later, the Federal Republic of Somalia has made significant progress in various fields, including politics, by embarking on major political reform with the organization of the first direct single-member elections scheduled for 2026. This marks an unprecedented development since the collapse of the Somali state. As part of the anniversary commemoration, members of the Somali Poets Council visited the Somali National Theatre, the headquarters of the Arts and Awareness Council. The council's chairman, Hirsi Douh Mohammed, accompanied by director Husman Abdullahi and poet Ahmed Saeed and Mahmoud Saleh, expressed deep gratitude to the people and government of Djibouti, particularly to President Ismail Omar Guelleh. The Somali artistic figures praised Djibouti's key role in national reconciliation, highlighting the tireless effort to promote unity, establish peace, and lay the foundation of a stable Somali state. They also emphasized the importance of regional cooperation to consolidate the gains made and address future challenges. The celebration of the 25th anniversary of the ARTA conference recalled the lasting impact of this act of regional solidarity and constitute a renewed call to continue collective effort to promote stability, development, and peace in Somalia and the region.
For the international scene, 12 new ceasefires violations by Israel in Lebanon. Lebanon has reported 12 further ceasefires violations by Israel.
Gaza's Ministry of Health today announced that 35-day-old Youssef Kaloub froze to death because of the lack of sufficient winter clothes and suitable living conditions in the enclave as a result of Israel's genocidal war. Youssef became the 8th baby to freeze to death in Gaza. In a statement yesterday, the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees warned that cold weather and lack of shelter are causing the death of newborns in Gaza, while 7,700 newborns lack life-saving care. The displaced Palestinians have been living in tents made of cloth and nylon due to the scarcity of essentials such as water and food, in addition to the severe shortage of clothing, blankets, and heating during the winter. Many tents flooded and were blown away from the winter winds last week, leaving many exposed to the element and putting the lives of infants further at risk.
In Lebanon, 12 new ceasefire violations by Israel. Lebanon has reported 12 further ceasefire violations by Israel, according to the Lebanese news agency. The Lebanese authorities have reported that 12 new Israeli violations of the ceasefire agreement reached on November 27 to end hostility, according to the Lebanese national news agency. These violations occurred in the district of Marjanoun, Nabatieh, and Bint Jabil in the governorate of Nabatieh, as well as in the district of Tyre in the southern governorate. Justin Trudeau resigns. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation on Monday, but said he would remain in power until his party nominated a successor. Nearly 10 years after coming to power, Justin Trudeau, 53-year, had been under pressure for weeks as parliamentary elections loomed and his party sank in the polls. I intend to resign as party leaders and prime ministers once the party has chosen its next leader, said Justin Trudeau. In the USA, several deaths, 60 million people affected. At least 4 people lost their lives following violent snowstorms that hit several U.S. states over the weekend. This climatic phenomenon, a polar vortex, originated from the North Pole, swept across the country, bringing extreme weather conditions and causing major disruptions, particularly in the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic states. The U.S. National Weather Service estimates that 60 million people are directly affected by this cold snap and heavy snowfall. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.